Hello there, welcome back to another episode of We Have Been Watching Podcast. This week is one of our weekly rewind episodes where we're talking about 1987's Robocop. I am the Dick Jones of podcast, Mart, and I'm here with the guy who's just a dick. It's Rob. Hello, Rob, how are you?
Hello.
Rob,
I'd buy that for $1.
You're one of these 1980s corporate businessmen, aren't you? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
So,
I am.
So we've got a little list, haven't we, of films
In
that
my
we're going to...
grey suit. My grey
Big
suit.
shoulder pads.
Meetings in
File of
gents'
facts.
toilets.
File of facts. So you put this in our list of weekly rewind films to watch, and I was overjoyed because I absolutely love this. Now, Rob, we know, regular listeners will know, we're both big fans of Barry Norman. I think I saw a trailer for this on film. Let's say film 87. It was out in 87, wasn't it? So it must have been film 87. And I saw the scene where Robocop sort of uses that thermal scanner, punches through the wall and chucks the guy out the window. Do you remember that? And at the time, I was sat, like Blade Runner, I sat there, eyes wide, like, I've got to watch this. This is absolutely great.
I think I saw it was a big standee, and it was the poster of where he's got the car door open. He's kind of standing there next to the car. And it was that poster in a video shop. And you know that bit with the thermal scanner?
Yeah.
You know how they filmed that?
No, go on.
They got the actors naked.
No.
And they, yes, and they painted them with the, reactive paint, whatever you call it, and then put the special lighting on it to make them look like that.
I never knew that. I got every day as a school day. That's fabulous because you just think, oh, well, it's just a special effect, don't you? But of course, this film is obviously in the 80s. It's hard to remember when we didn't have all these mega budget. Because looking at Robocop, there's a lot of practical effects there. I remember hearing all the stories about Peter Weller unable to move properly and how heavy it was.
Yeah.
But it looks great. Have you watched the remake, by the way, Rob?
Yes, and I don't really remember it very well because I remember just thinking it was lame and thinking Gary Oldman was just there for a paycheck.
Yeah,
and
it's utterly bland and it's crap. So starting this off, it actually, with my 2022 eyes looking at this, like that media coverage at the start, but like do they call it talking heads? Do they, where you've got all your sort of give us 2 minutes and we'll get. In the 80s, I was like, wow, look at that. That's a really dystopian, futuristic style. And look at it now. It's exactly like it is now.
Yeah, because what was that? As it Don't Look Up, that film isn't it? The Netflix, which spoofs that idea of doing, news where everything has to be done with a smile on your face. Like, unfortunately, there was an accident and 100 people were incinerated.
Shooting at a shopping mall today.
And it does that, doesn't it? So all that stuff feels really timely, and the adverts are funny. I always think with this is, I don't know how much it influenced it, but at the time, Dark Knight Returns, the graphic novel comic, had been out, and this does that, doesn't it? With the panels of people talking on TV. Again, and I'm pretty sure 2000 AD Judge Dredd comics did it as well.
Yeah, so
it works a good well of setting the tone. This is the great Judge Dredd film that never was.
It's a fantastic info dump, isn't it? Of getting that information across. So, there's an advert, isn't there, for buying a replacement heart.
Yeah,
and it's all that we do it because we care, and it's like. You got the amount of money it is for a heart. It's that horrible corporate America. Again, all the adverts that you go through, like you just said, it's that Paul Verhoeven thing, isn't it? It's especially there in Starship Troopers where you've got those.
Oh, the join up adverts. And stuff.
Sarcastic adverts taking on what? Well, they are just as bad as that nowadays, aren't they?
This Starship Troopers and Total Recall, that style is all obviously so similar, and the genres are so similar, aren't they? Sci-fi actions anyway.
It is.
So they do work as as a whole. I thought the thing that made me really think of Starship Troopers watching this is the changing room, the unisex changing rooms.
So as a
Starship Troopers does the same thing, doesn't it?
As a 17-year-old lad, or probably 18 by the point it came on home video, I was like, oh my god! So there were boobs really early on in this 18-rated film. Well, that was it. Of course, as a young kid, I was sold into. I was like, ultra-violent film with a bit of nudity at the start. So it's good. You've got Ronnie Cox being an absolute a-hole, haven't you? As Dick Jones, he's
a very good villain, isn't he?
The horrible, but then you've got your. I mean, is this still a thing? The chief of police. He's there shouting at everyone, "Get your ass back in the changing room!"
God damn it, Pachansky! I want your badge on my desk in the morning. And 21 Jump Street spoofs all that stuff, doesn't it? With Ice Cube. Yeah, the angry black police captain just shouting at everyone, and then there's that really nerdy copper that's following you around all the time, Cecil, with a box.
Did you notice the sound effects or the sound dubbing? So there's a bit quite at the start where you're introduced to Lewis, aren't you? And a perp sort of breaks it, and Lewis gets him and sort of whacks him and kicks him. It's got that really over the top barroom brawl, like whoosh, it's like really overlaid.
Things like the other thing where I did notice this. You know when Robocop shooting those. They look like, are they just sheets of paper that have got like for target practice?
Yeah, the bits
and
of
he's shooting it, and the gun's going.
Paper,
but then the piece of paper that he's shooting is going. And I'm thinking, you're shooting a paper target. Why is it making so much noise when you're hitting it?
So I've got in my notes here. More again. This was obviously that thing, wasn't it? More of the 80s corporate assholes. They're all just horrible, aren't they? They're all out to get each other. They're all.
This is that yuppie thing in the 80s, wasn't it? With like Wall Street and the greed is good. So just having these type of people. Just these corporate people, which were just. They're dreadful, and they're just chasing. Yeah. So
then you've got that. I mean, it's a really iconic scene, isn't it, where they introduce Ed 209 coming in, and you've got the please drop the gun for 20 seconds to cover. I remember watching this, and this scene, it's just so gory, isn't it? It's
the amount that guy is just covered in squibs, isn't he?
It's just ridiculous.
All over him.
But the way did you sort of pick up on the way? To Dick Jones speaks to the old man. I forget what the old man. Do you ever know the name of the old man, the boss? Did we ever hear his name? I don't know if we do. And he sort of said, he's like, Dick, this is very, very disappointing. He's like, oh, it's just a glitch. And he says, a glitch? This will cost us $5 million. And they just don't care about human life, don't they?
Well,
it's all about.
Doesn't even the old man say something like, I'm very disappointed in you? Or something like that.
Yeah, and he said, this is going to cost us $5 million. And he's like, they don't care in the slightest about a human being that's being killed.
And there's a few people milling around like, quick, get a doctor, get a doctor. But the execs are just like sitting there like, oh, annoying. Like they're just being given some bad news. Like one of their colleagues has just been riddled with bullets in front of them.
And then we see, obviously,
they're basically all awful people.
They're just vile, aren't they?
Lewis and Murphy, aren't they? Really?
So then we get Clarence Boddicker. Now, I remember reading this in the paper when it came out, and apparently, after this film, Kurtwood Smith couldn't get any work for a long time just because he's so horrible, isn't he? As Clarence Boddicker.
After this, is that horrible dad, isn't he, that pushes the kid to kill himself in Dead Poet Society? I always remember him from that.
He is.
But did he used to do like before this? Wasn't he like in a famous sitcom or something?
Oh, I don't know. This is his first thing I've seen him in.
I don't know. I got a feeling he was in something before this. So what was this? What we're talking? 87.
It's 87, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Apparently, and this is only just, I think I've read this on IMDb or something like that. That thing with the glasses and stuff like that, Paul Verhoeven made him thought he looked like a Nazi.
Yeah. You can see him like in Indiana Jones. He's got that kind of like SS kind of feel. So we then sort of get these.
He's so good, isn't he?
He's great.
Curtis Smith, he's vile, isn't he? And he's just cocky, and when he's spitting the blood out and stuff like that, and just
so
when he gets arrested. Yeah.
Oh,
very effective.
We've got Murphy and Lewis go on this little. They follow the bad guys, don't they?
And there's no backup. Everyone's on strike.
Rob, So look, I love gory films, and the special effects aren't great in the film where Murphy gets shot up, but I absolutely hate this scene. I hate it in as much as it's awful, it's heartbreaking, it's really, really cruel, isn't it?
It feels. I think
It's
this
excessive,
scene.
isn't it?
I think this scene is a bit bothering you in the same way that. This is going to strange
Go on.
comparison. The Elephant Man.
Yeah.
You know when they're being horrible to John Merrick in The Elephant Man.
Yeah.
And it's awful to watch people being bullied.
It is.
It's that because they're outnumbered and they're laughing at him and they're shooting
yeah.
him. It feels like a bullying thing, and it feels horrible. Yeah. And
even now,
Rob,
I've watched every horror film out there, but this still gets me. There's still something about, when that when he goes and shoots his hand off, and Peter Weller just looks so shocked with it, doesn't he? And so, don't like it at all. But then it is a great segue, isn't it, into that sort of POV shot of him seeing all the doctors trying to save him.
Yeah,
and
that bit's really good, isn't it? And then there's like an office party where obviously he's meant to be looking at them, and then there's that bit where they're like the drilling. There's the grid comes on, like they're drilling it on. And that's a show don't tell sort of thing, isn't it? Really, where it's just you get what's happened.
Yeah,
they're not standing around the body going, right, let's turn him into Robocop. You get what's happening there,
and
then you're waiting because you're only seeing his point of view as an audience. You're then, come on, I want to see him from the outside.
Do you know the scene where he stands up, doesn't he? And they're going, come on, walk towards us. And in the left-hand corner of the screen, there's a monitor, and you see him
and you can see him on that. Because the bit after that is when he's walking into the police station. He's behind frosted glass, isn't he?
Yeah.
And they don't see him, and all the cops are, what the hell's going on? Let's go and see. And then you see him shooting the noisy paper target. So it kind of teases you and shows you a little bit at a time.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I think it still looks great. Whether it's because it's the real effects.
I think the only thing where my eyes thought, that looks a bit fake, is where the painted black rubber that's meant to be metal around his neck.
Yeah.
But apparently, like his hands are rubber, and I don't know whether perhaps if you look at his hands, you'll notice it. But when they throw the car keys and he catches the car keys, apparently it took him something like 50 takes.
I heard that.
He's got like foam gloves on, so everything just kept bouncing off his hands because it's all rubber.
I've heard that as well. It took forever to get right.
Also, a lot of those scenes he's got no robot legs on, has he? It's just like the robot torso, the top bit.
Yeah,
because all the bits in the car, you can tell that when you look for it, you notice the fact that when he gets out of the car, the camera just stays from his waist up, and then they'll just have a close up of his foot. But that sound when he's walking all the time, and the way and he's turning and stuff. Yeah,
it's the head first, then the body, then the torso, then the body. It's really, really good.
This is one of the reasons I was watching it with my lad, and I said, why haven't you got a Robocop Fortnite skin if you love Robocop so much? And it's like, I don't want to see Robocop running and jumping up walls and running around and hiding in bushes. He's got to be slow, steady like that.
He's like a tank, isn't he? So Rob, Robocop is super, super strong, yeah?
Yes.
This is something I've been talking about since 1987. So we see him make his first arrest, which is that guy with a machine gun at like the mom and pop store.
Yeah.
And now, can I also drop in here? Have you ever watched this on TV where they've dubbed out all the swearing in some of the scenes throughout?
No.
Have you not?
God, it must be short.
There's two.
Because that guy's just saying F you.
No, he's saying F me. He's saying F me. And in the dub version on TV, he's going, why me? Why me? And he's like, really bad. So, Robocop's super strong, yeah?
Yes.
But then the guy's shooting, and Robocop bends the barrel down. So is the guy of equal strength to Robocop? Because normally you'd bend that and it'd flip it out the guy's hands, wouldn't it? But so he must be of equal strength to Robocop to hold it, so the end of the gun barrel bends over.
I've never thought about the physics of that.
I'm being a dick, but I've been thinking about that since 1987. so that's good. Then I've got in my notes here, overacting rapists. I mean, that's
there's more hair down there.
They're really sort of like crazy, aren't they?
But again, that woman's got a really dodgy wig on her.
But it's that hyper realised 80s futuristic style, isn't it?
But
That society
kind of,
gone bad.
But this is the thing where it works as like a black comedy or a satire. It's not like it's unintentional funny. I'm trying to make out like it was, trying to excuse it. That bit when she's like thanking him and he's like, "You've had an emotional trauma" or something like that, and he's just talking to her really coldly. It's meant to be funny, isn't it?
Have you ever seen that parody video where he shoots all the attackers? Have you ever seen this?
And he's just shooting all their cocks off.
Shooting them all in the dick. That's brilliant. So,
as a 14-year-old though, that bit where he's like got the targeting thing.
Oh, that was so clever.
Like same with Terminator. When you're a kid and you see Terminator's point of view, and he's like, deciding what to say back to the people and all that sort of something about point of view of robot people in the 80s.
It's wonderful.
Was like the coolest
it's absolutely wonderful. So I've got in my notes here. It's Robocop using the heat scanner. So you've already said that. Again, it's that corporate greed American. He's like, I want to.
He's the mayor, isn't he?
He's the mayor. I want to revote, and I want a car that does shitty mileage. And he's got a car. And I remember seeing this, and it said 8.9 miles to the gallon. Well, I think you get cars nowadays, don't we, that do that bad mileage on the advert. Do you remember it?
Yes.
It's SUX. Is it SUX
yes.
9000 or something?
Yeah, because it's the car that the bad guys steal later on when the cops are on strike, isn't it? Yeah.
So then we've got the OCP bathroom scene where you see it's Bob Morton, isn't it? Who's the up and coming guy, who's equally a horrible guy, and he has that thing where he's slagging off Dick Jones in the toilet.
Yeah, and that guy gets puts his just wheeze himself because he's not shaking quick enough.
Absolutely brilliant.
And he's shuffling it.
But
and it's just that. It's that machismo thing, isn't it? Blokes squaring off and snarling at each other really close and stuff.
And he sort of grabs his hair and he's like, "Get off me!" But he is intimidated by the older Dick Jones, and he's trying not to be. Then we've got a fab drugs factory. So, did you notice?
That's where they're flying everywhere, and all the stuntmen are being pulled by ropes. They get hit by the bullet and they go flying, don't they?
Also, if you notice this, I've noticed this before a lot as well. You see the sort of establishing shot of this drugs factory, and there's a little conveyor belt, and it lifts up. The amount of drugs that's been spilled down the side of those test tubes is wasted going on the floor. Cleaners are probably high as a kite when they come in the evening. But yeah, Robocop kicks the door down and it comes in, and it's that kind of pre-targeting everyone. And he's doing that thing, I'm making the motions here, Rob, where he's got his gun one way, then he swings it under his arm, and then he shoots behind him. It's so good. It's so good.
He's so lucky not to get shot in the chin, though, isn't he?
yeah. It's that thing. It's like, shoot Robocop. Somebody's done, but don't shoot him in the face.
Yeah. If they all just went, "Oh my god, it's right," and everyone just went, "Aim at his chin," and that'd have been all right. But they don't.
Another dubbing bit is where Bob Morton has got those two. I don't know if they're prostitutes or just women that he's got over for a drugs party.
I've assumed they're prostitutes. Yeah.
Yeah. In the TV edit, it says "ladies leave" when they come in instead of "bees leave."
It's still a little bit sort of like you wince. Well, that's quite violent, but obviously it's nothing compared to watching The Boys or something like that. But that shooting at the kneecaps thing when he's lying on the floor, I don't know.
It's cruel, isn't it?
It's not necessarily a bad thing that you don't see blood and gore like that in mainstream action movies all the time, but perhaps everything aims for 12 certificates all the time. This feels surprisingly violent compared to what I've been watching over the last 20 years.
I absolutely agree. It's really strong, and again, you've got Clarence Boddicker going around killing people. I mean, a bit like at the start when Murphy and Lewis were having that shootout. They throw their own guy out the back of the van, don't they? Because he got shot up. Can you fly, Bobby? He does all that, doesn't he? So again, it's Clarence going around killing anyone and everybody, and there's no sort of repercussions, is there? They literally are doing what they want because they either own the police or the police are so overworked it's just not worth.
and then when the police obviously go on strike as well. Well, the police go on strike, but then there's plenty of them when it's time to arrest Robocop. We're saying he's gone bad, and there's like
all of them,
tons of them, then shooting him up in the car park. Is this
film just full of Murphy getting shot by everybody? Because it feels like it, doesn't it? He's like, I'm going to go here, now I'm being shot up. I'm going to go there, now I'm being shot up.
There's a great shot I really like in this film where it's gone all really misty and there's a light behind him. He's crawling towards the camera. He's just got one hand up in the air and he's like almost on the floor and he's like trying to like go for help. And I think it's a really nice shot.
Yeah.
So that was a bit geeky of me there. I really love that particular shot.
It's lovely. And
he just obviously falls his way around the car park. And whenever I go to car parks that have those slightly off-centre levels like this, I think of Robocop all the time, rolling his way down the gaps.
So, interestingly, though, he takes his helmet off, doesn't he, when he's at this back at the steel mill with Lewis, and he's like, "You're not going to like what you see." He looks surprisingly good, actually. I mean, I bet Darkman would be happy.
It looks excellent. Is that meant to be the same sawmill that he got killed?
Well, I'm assuming so, but it's a bit of a crappy place to go back to, isn't it?
Yeah, I was never quite sure with that, really. Whether it's meant to be just a similar place, or it's just the same.
Is it the fact that Detroit is just so poor, and all the factories and mills and all the engineering places are all closed, so there's like loads and loads of empty factories?
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, again, I remember seeing that, and because there's one of the scenes, isn't there, where it's like a model head, isn't it? I think it's only for a brief moment, but it's a really good model head. And then, of course, the rest of it, you've got Peter Weller with some sort of head cap on it. But those screws he takes out of his helmet are really deep as well, aren't they? They're really, really long screws going into his head. Yeah,
well, I think it's interesting because you're just thinking like, okay, so we're seeing the skin of his face here, and the back of his head's got robot stuff. So it's almost like, well, how deep is the robot stuff in his head? Yeah. I'm guessing he's got no real brain left, but then he must have some brain because he's got no. So it doesn't need to be explained, doesn't matter, but it's just interesting when he takes the helmet off and always just thinking, wow, how far is the human bit left over at the front? You never quite know.
And a great bit of foreshadowing where he goes in and he sees Cecil, doesn't he, at the police headquarters, and he's after some information, isn't he, on Emil, the guy who rides the bike, and he goes, and Robo's got that spike, hasn't he, which is like an information transfer spike. Well, of course, that's a great bit of foreshadowing because later on he has that fight with Clarence, doesn't he?
Yes, we sort of skip that a little bit briefly. Yeah, I like that bit at the petrol station.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
And again,
Carly's boy.
Oh yeah, but there's obviously there is a real stuntman there with a petrol, a controlled petrol station blowing up behind him.
Blowing up around him. Yeah.
It's a long shot and it's quite a far out shot, but even so, it's still somebody being blown up behind him.
You just CGI that now, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it probably looks so.
But having the stuntman walking along this massive explosion going around, there's lots of explosions, things blowing up with those super guns as well, isn't it? They got these massive, ridiculous cannons that they're shooting at him at the end.
So I think you mentioned, Rob, on one of our other episodes about you'd watch something, you'd talk about it with your friends. Maybe it was kids at school or 87. Let me think. I think I was at sixth form during it, or I might have just started work, and some of my friends were at college.
Well, I would have been 14, so I wouldn't have been allowed to see this at the cinema. So I reckon
no, I didn't either. I was 17.
How long did things used to take to come out on video rental?
Couple of years
or something.
Yeah, a year or two. Yeah, I mean, so I saw it fairly quick after.
I would have rented this. Yeah.
Same. But I remember the thing that me and all my friends were excitedly talk about was Emil as that mutant when he goes into the toxic waste, doesn't he? And he's like, he's all melted.
Water bomb all over the.
It's horrible. It's just weird. Horrible walking out, and it's like, it's a really, really gross.
That is just the way it's just obliterated into a bag of mush as well.
Oh,
like it's messing up so much. This is all that B movie stuff, isn't it? Really, where it's just throw some gory stuff in for the sake of it.
It is. And then, of course, you get the end battle between Clarence and Robo and that sort of... Again, it's that thing where if Clarence had just shot him in the face, it would have all been over. But he's doing that, oh, come on, you can arrest me. And he's like, I'm not a cop anymore. And he's trying to shoot him. Really. And then, of course, he spikes him with the spike.
And Laura Palmer's dad drops the metal on him before then as well.
Yeah, and Lewis pretty much blows the shit out of him there, doesn't she, with that massive gun?
Because there's loads of it. It could be a realistic amount, I don't know. But when he puts that spike in his neck and he pulls it out, and it's just like a whole pint of blood just splats onto Robocop's chest. They don't hold back with the blood in this movie. They're just chucking it everywhere.
Nice bit of so again, it's a nice bit of model usage where you see then Robo goes back to OCP, doesn't he? And then you've got your model of Ed 209, whether it's a miniature model in the distance or it's a full size model, and they've
that's interesting.
Cleverly done.
There's a little visual gag, isn't there, where he shoots it, and then as he's walking away, you see it start walking into shot again, don't you?
Yeah, and it's just the
bottom
half. Yeah.
The bit, when it just be in the car park bit, jumping back a bit.
Yeah.
That bit when it falls down the stairs and it squeals like a pig. It's just a pig sound. It's just a straight up pig sound effect.
It is. I always thought it was meant to be servos or something, just trying to but it isn't. It's like a screaming animal, isn't it?
Yeah.
So well, we're at sort of the end of the film here, aren't we? Where it's, although they've left that gun in the meeting room, haven't they? They left the gun in the meeting room since.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be taken for evidence for anyone or anything like that. They've just tidied the place back up again as if nothing's happened.
I believe that. But again, it's a great little thing. I never saw this coming when I first watched it, and it was that. Rule 4 he's like, I can't arrest an OCP employee. So of course the old man, Dick, you're fired. And of course that's when it negates that rule. Did you ever notice how long Dick Jones's arms are when he falls out the window?
Yeah, I mean the two things that sort of stood out for me as like slightly cringy. I don't mind. I mean, the fact that Ed 209 is clearly a stop motion animation, but I love stop motion stuff.
Yeah,
so
it's fabulous.
The two bits I thought were really jarring is him falling out the window and
massive arms. Yeah,
it looks weird, particularly compared to the end of Die Hard, which was around about the same time, where him falling out the window looks weird. And there is another really noticeable bit when Ed 29 is chasing him out of the office before he goes, the big shootout in the car park. He fires a rocket down the corridor, and you can see the string. You can see the string that it goes. The rocket just fires along, and
Speaking of Die Hard,
really
just a little thing. Did you know in that Alan Rickman, they had him, didn't they, suspended over a giant bag? Obviously not a fair height, and they said we're going to drop you on 3, and they dropped him on 1. So that look of shock is apparently a real look of shock on Alan Rickman's face.
Yeah, I've heard that. Apparently, he said he was prepared to do the stunt to make it look good, but obviously in this one, the guy would have been far too old to do it. But
yeah, it's not a great CGI stop motion, but there's, as you said earlier, there's something about this film. Like you say, it's black comedy, it's horror, it's satire. It's
just never boring. It's at all.
It feels like a really short film as well. I don't know if it is. I didn't actually. I couldn't take my eyes off it.
It's really pacey. I mean, it ended, and like all good films like this should be. The first thing my son said was like, "Are we going to watch the second one? Is there a second one?" And I'm like, "There is a second one, and there is a third one, and there's loads of other stuff. But let's
leave it at that." The second one, I watched that this year or last year.
I don't remember it being, but it's not very good, is it? The second one.
The second one is getawayable with. You can get away with it.
I think it's pretty bad. It's directed by Irving Kershner, isn't it?
It's not great, and there's
Director
loads.
Empire Strikes Back,
Yeah. No, it's not up there. It's not great, but it's okay. But there's a lot of stop motion in that, so it's more jarring. But this is absolute gold. This first Robocop is good. It's so iconic.
Third one. Is it the third one where he's on a jetpack or something?
Yeah, it stinks. It's terrible. No.
Yeah.
Stick with number 1. Stick with the OG, as you say. But no, I absolutely love this, Rob. It's got a real. I know we talked about that Star Wars thing about separating memory and emotion from it, but for me, this was an integral film growing up. I can't separate it out, the feeling from the film.
Yeah, I mean, this is for me. This is doing what Darkman was doing for you, because where Darkman, I just thought this is cheesy as hell.
Yeah,
and sort of distractingly dated and bad. This is where it's interesting asking my 18-year-old son's opinion on it, because after when it finished, I said, "Well, did you find that Did you find it was bad and dated?" And he's like, "Well, obviously, I accept the fact the effects don't look as good as modern day effects, but it didn't matter. It didn't distract from
yeah.
the film. And he thought Robocop himself still looked really good.
You see, my son has watched the remake because I think that's a 12, and I've never let him. Well, I will nowadays, but I don't. He just never got around to watching it. I wouldn't let him watch the original Robocop because it was too strong. He's watched the remake and he liked that because I think he watched it when he was 12 actually, and he didn't know any better. And I've always said to him, "This is crap. You need to watch when you're old enough the original." I think it's an absolutely excellent film, and I actually want to watch the other two Verhoeven films. I love Total Recall.
It's interesting that they've done. They did a kind of crappy Robocop remake. They did a kind of crappy Total Recall remake.
Yeah.
Is it only a matter of time before they go back to Starship Troopers and do that again?
I'm sure it is. But again, I don't think they'll. When you watch that the first time, I know people that have done Starship Troopers and they didn't get the satire in it. But it's all satire, isn't it?
Really? Yeah, it is.
You know,
it's just a huge Mickey take of
the military
fascism and
I think we have to talk about this some, Rob. I think we'll have to put this on the list.
Yeah.
So
to be continued.
Rob, how many pairs of Dick Jones glasses do you want? How many cocaine cleavaged prostitutes do you think you want to give this out of 10?
I mean, it's just. Do I go 9? But I don't know if my nostalgia's pumping him up a bit too high. No, I'm going to go 9. I'd give this a 9 out of 10.
Right, absolutely. I'm so I was pumped with nostalgia the other day, and I'm still now. I love Robocop, so I'm giving it a 10. I love Robocop.
You give it 10 out of 10 seconds to comply.
Yeah. Oh. I'm ending the podcast. We can't do any better than that. Absolutely excellent film. It stands up to the test of time. The older looking bits add to the charm for me. Now, whether it's me harking back to my glory days or what, I don't know, but I love it. I think it's just gold. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it is, and you can enjoy it just as a bit, almost like B-movie trash in the sense, that kind of thing where it's just good. It's good fun because it's the kind of thing when you're young and when we were younger, I suppose, and you're like, oh, what should we watch with my mates? What should we watch? Let's watch the 18 certificate rather than the 15 certificate because there'll probably be some boobs in it and there'll probably be some more violence in it and stuff like that. So you always go for the higher rated one, and this kind of ticks all those boxes as like a teenage guilty pleasure type thing.
And here's something that,
but the stuff you can't. The satire works. The stuff, it has got stuff going on underneath. I would argue that this has got a subtext. There is something more going on.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
It's all about corporate greed. It's about the working man. It's about God, Rob. It's probably more relevant today than ever.
It's also about Jesus, isn't it?
It is actually. Yeah, of course it is. See,
it looks like he's walking on water at the end when he's coming out. When he's at that, it really does. I think that's on the. I got the Criterion. I can't play it or anything because it's obviously like an American DVD. It was one of the first DVDs I bought back in the day when DVDs were a new thing. And, we talked about this. When everyone got Matrix on DVD, so they could show off how amazing DVDs were. And I got this Criterion edition uncut version of Robocop with director's commentary. It's the first time I'd ever watched a film with director's commentary.
Oh, cool.
And I think Verhoeven in that talks about how it's meant to be like about Jesus and stuff like that.
For me, it's got a thing as well. I think I mentioned earlier, there's loads and loads of quotable moments. But for me, those quotes are different to in Total Recall, say, Arnie's doing his Arnie quotes, isn't he? See at the party, Richter, all that sort of stuff.
Well, the difference there, it's because when Arnie does it, they're thinking, let's give him a catchphrase.
Arnie. Yeah.
But I don't think it's written like that in Robocop, isn't it? That they've become catchphrases. They're the best ones where they become iconic lines, and they weren't expecting it. I think. Yeah,
because it's that TV show, I'd buy that for the dollar, which you never quite get. And it doesn't really make sense, does it? And I think they became catchphrases because they were elements of Murphy coming through in Robocop. So it's like Ghost in the Shell, isn't it? It's the ghost in the machine, I suppose, to a certain degree. But because those lines, you go, oh yeah, that was Murphy. but then they become the memorable lines. So, it's great. It's great.
Yes.
Brilliant. Yeah. Right.
And hopefully, if anyone listening who has never seen it before, will be watching Robocop very soon. Anyone's listening and has rekindled their love for Robocop and they realise, oh, you're right, that is great. I've not seen it for years. Hopefully, they'll go and watch it again as well.
Please do.
Yeah.
Rob, we need to get some of these Paul Verhoeven films under our belt soon, I think.
Happy to do a Total Recall down the line some point.
Man, I loved Total Recall. For me, is a film I've seen the most times at the cinema, so we'll have to talk about that. Right, guys, thank you for joining us for this retro rewind. I like I've just changed that, Rob.
Thank you. Nice.
We'll see you again soon. If you want to send us an email, it's wehavebeenwatchingpodcast@gmail.com. Twitter @WHBWpodcast, and on Instagram it's wehavebeenwatchingpodcast. Until next time, I'd buy that for $1. See you soon. Bye.
Bye. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please click subscribe.